All right, thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here with us. Happy Friday. First and foremost, we have the team joining us from Quant AI. Their Kai token launched on April 2nd, so they have seen some time in the space, just celebrating recently their 2-month anniversary. They've been kind of sitting around that 1 to 1.5 million range recently. Back on it was around April the 5th, April the 6th, they hit their all-time high of around 13 million. So again, did see a lot of volume, a lot of success in the early stages off of launch, and they've been kind of adding to the back end tech and their product and service offering since. It's our first time working with the team, but I believe we saw them on a space previously, so will be kind of interesting to get a little bit of a deeper dive into what they've been doing, and again, as Bondig mentioned, really jump into the future of what's coming here. So they're two products right now that are live. Is an entertainment bot as well as a chat bot. And the thing I like about what they're doing is the trainer aspect, and the fact that they're offering, teams the ability to kind of customize and set them up the way they want before they go live into the chat. So yeah, we'll jump into how that works, how people can utilize their tech, and also how some of the back end benefits work for holders of the token. So make sure, if you haven't already, you guys kind of follow along, website, white paper, some great resources, and then on the back end, jump into the quant community just to follow along for updates, and you guys can follow as some of the stuff that we talk about today. So thank you so much, Bondig, as well as Pepe, for being here. And again, if Manushik jumps in, just get him to throw his hand up and I'll get him unmuted. I'll pass you the mic.
Thanks for having us, Maurice. I mean, it's a pleasure to be here, a pleasure to be speaking to you guys, and a pleasure to be showcasing what I think is the next basically revolution in Web3 in terms of the maturity of the market, in terms of the output of each token as a project and as a business. And we're here really along with our colleagues in the space, especially in the utility space, to give you guys actual utilities that are competitive in even the Web2 space, not even just the Web3. And in order for the market to translate into something more of a place full of ingenuity and innovation. So just to give you guys some background of who we are, why we do what we do, and how did this project come to be. Basically, I'm Bondig. I'm the CEO of the project manager as well. I'm a professional, so I also have been working in business analysis and business management for the last 10 years at Morgan Stanley. My CTO, Pepe, who just disconnected, he'll be reconnecting right now. He is also a veteran, a software engineer veteran. He's been working in the field for the last 8 years as well. He's built ERPs and CRMs, for those who know what that is, for multiple companies and as well as startups. And my CEO, Manushak, who's also trying to connect right now, he is also an AI specialist for the last 12 years. He's been working in AI with some of the biggest names in the space, and the Web2 space, that is, for the last 12 years. And his knowledge about AI is unparalleled. It's an actual insight to what AI can actually produce, contrary to what the space has given us in terms of basically gift-wrapped versions of ChatGPT, which we'll get into later. So the whole team came together. We also know each other as colleagues. We've been in the crypto space for our combined experience in the crypto space goes over 25 years. So we're very well versed in Web3, and we are professionals in Web2. So in terms of getting into a utility, there's nothing better than such a mix. The reason we even started this whole project is because of the barrier of entry being so low. Our competitors, that I won't name, but most of you know who they are, have left a back door into the space in terms of ingenuity and innovation. So we plan to come in, really produce a product that's unparalleled and unmatched, and let the product speak for itself. Of course, in Web3, that's unheard of in many of the cases, unlike some of the utilities that you guys might know of who have taken this route as well. So we started this project because everyone needs some help in their life. Everyone needs a resource or a place where they can ask questions and get answers and get help in each respective fields without the need to go and pay for help or go and try to find some resources that decrease their efficiency. So we did, our whole motto, our whole plan is to decrease your expenses and increase your efficiency. So whether you might be a team, or you might be a professional, or you might have a company, or you're just a person trying to find an entrepreneurial path for himself, Quant AI finds these solutions for everyone. So the way that it works is that the platform is based on a quant basic model that allows you to train your agent into 13 different categories, whether that may be a software engineer or a content writer or a business analyst or a data analyst. Or now when Pepe does the demo, you guys could see the categories for yourself, and you guys could train your own agent in under an hour, I could say, with the right data that you guys have, and have a fully fledged employee working for you 24/7 and not complaining and always trying to help you figure out what you need to do in the fastest way possible. And the way we did that is we had to basically divide the market into 3 different levels. So we have the basic market, which is 90% of us. We don't have much AI experience yet. We do have interest in finding AI and helping and using AI to help us in our daily lives with 90% of our problems. That's for the quant basic model that we'll be showcasing today. We also have a pro version, which is not yet out to the public, which is designated towards professionals, so people who have had AI experience before. And we also have a solutions tier, which is designed for businesses, for us to build them their own AIs from scratch. So if you're a business or you're a project and you want a fully fledged AI trained for your business for specific tasks, we can do that for you. And right now we have around 14 clients, some of them being TTF and other notable names in the space, and some of them being Web2 businesses like Rare Art, who want to translate their art studio in Dubai into a Web3 NFT project. So we are dabbling in both realms. We have legs in both realms. And at the same time, after building the web platform to train your own AI agent, we wanted to make bots that make your life easier. So we went into the route of a governance bot, which is called SirQuant, where it holds your own AI agent. After you export it from our web platform, you can export your agent into Telegram through SirQuant, and you're able to use SirQuant within your groups so to use your agent as well as to govern your groups. So SirQuant is our AI governance bot. Basically, what it does is it allows you to use your agent along with many other features, like basically modding your group through AI. So rather than modding your group through Rosebot, which is the old way of modding, basically through filters, block lists, and etc. You guys know the drill. Now you can mod your group through AI. So you can filter through context, and the efficiency of the governance bot, which is SirQuant over Rosebot, is almost the difference between day and night. Also, there's a set of other features that Pepe will speak about while showcasing you through the live recording. Also, we have our engagement bot, which is targeted towards meme communities, where you can create your own music. So a lot of meme communities found success in creating their own theme songs in under 1 minute. So basically, all you need to do is put a certain command and then write 1 sentence, and you get your own fully fledged song for your community. And as well as you guys can basically add the bot to your group and make it admin, and every single part of the community can start making images to shill the project. And also you can export these images into stickers and then have your own sticker packs, and you can also make AI generated GIFs for your project. So what we did is we looked at the market, we saw what are the needs of each certain thing. So in terms of the web platform, we have 90% of the people, we have the professionals, we have the businesses. In terms of the Telegram market, we have the memes and the utilities. So we had governance for everyone, and then engagement and entertainment for the memes. And we did all of that in order to monopolize everything that there is to be able to be monopolized. And that way we can have a one-stop shop for all you guys. All you need to do is just click on it and you have everything you need in one AI, with your trained AI and with general purpose solutions. Why did we even start this? So let me give you a brief anecdote to how this all came about. So prior, like 11 months ago, when we first started developing Quant AI, I think right now it's around 13 months, but 11 months ago, 11 months before we even launched the project, I was working on a hedge fund myself because I'm a professional in the Web2 space, and I needed a lawyer, basically. So I needed a lawyer to be able to answer questions for me in certain jurisdictions and certain regulations. And you know how much lawyers cost these days, especially a professional lawyer in the financial sector, uh, costing over $4,000 to $5,000 per consultation, and that's other than the amount of money you need to pay for a retainer. I was approached by my colleague Manushak, and he told me I can build you your own lawyer. So what we did is we used the professional Quant Pro tier that's not available to the public right now, and we trained our own lawyer in under 4 days, and I had a fully fledged lawyer in under basically 128 hours. And that lawyer compared, and we did what we did in order to see if that lawyer is up to par with the regulations and previous trial information. We simulated a trial, and the bot basically, the AI basically chose the jury, basically fed it all the information, of course, from the dissertation, and the lawyer got almost a 70% accuracy rate to the verdict that the actual trial came out with. So that's when the idea clicked that we need to produce this for the public. And after that, of course, we basically developed the business model in order to target specific types of consumers. So, like I said, 90% of the problems can be justified and solved by Quant Basic, and Quant Pro is going to be targeted towards professionals. And then there's also the Quant Solutions tier. And then after that, we basically built this whole thing over a token. So how would the token and this whole platform, this behemoth of a utility, translate into a token, and how does the token run this this platform? So what we did is we built this whole thing on a revenue sharing model, and everything we make as a project, from Quant Pro subscriptions or premium subscriptions for our bots, or the solutions tier where we're building AIs for different businesses and they're paying us for it, or through our different sort of advertisements. All our revenue streams are basically, they flow into a revenue sharing wallet, and that revenue is going to be dispersed over all stakers. So if any of our stakers, they don't just enjoy APR like the regular token, they also enjoy ETH revenue. And we last time, for our last revenue share, we had our first ever revenue share 2 weeks ago, I believe, and the biggest wallet got almost $3,000 pie of the portion of our revenue share, and that's almost half their investment. So the way it works is that we want to involve you guys, all our holders and our stakers, most importantly, as stakeholders of our token. So it's not only you stake the token like a regular Web3 project, and Web2, the term stakeholders means that you're part of the journey. You're a pinnacle of support within that company, and if you're a stakeholder within that company, you have to have some sort of feedback in terms of value or in terms of monetary value. So we do that within Quant AI, and we also involve all our revenue streams and disperse them over our stakeholders and stakers. So that's just a brief rundown of who we are, what the project does briefly, and where did we come from. And I would love to pass down the reins to Pepe if, Maurice, you have any questions. And if you're
No,
not,
I'll just jump in because I almost came off mute 2 or 3 times because I normally like to kind of jump in and interject, but you were on a roll, so I kind of just let you go. But I was jotting down a few notes. So like the first thing I wanted to go into, you mentioned that you guys had kind of trained up 13 different skill sets or like essentially types of employees or employee skill sets that could be useful for businesses or even just people even running a channel or something like that in this space. Now, a lot of what you see, like the way that AI is right now, like it's not really like artificial intelligence, and I'm sure Manushik, if he was here, could really comment on this one, being in that space for so long. But it's more like algorithmic learning, like where it's at from a stage perspective in AI right now. So like what types of models are you guys using to train it up on the back end? Like how flexible is it? Like that for me is kind of what I'm curious about. I'm not an expert by any means in that space, but I just, from doing research and reading about kind of progression of that space and where it's at right now, it seems to be a bit more along the lines of algorithmic learning versus like true AI. And then you guys also make note or make reference to the term AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, a number of times in your white paper. So I was hoping you could also just maybe touch on the difference between what you guys view as is more of an AGI versus like AI, like if there's any niches within that, or kind of what led you to that term.
Yeah, so AI has become more of a colloquial term for machine learning, basically for algorithms, like you said, that learn through data sets and then come back and give you guys answers in terms of what you taught them to begin with. So the correct term really to use in terms of AI, everything that is AI right now, it's more of large language models, so LLMs. That is the correct term when discussing bots of this nature. So in terms of Quant AI and Quant AGI, AGI is a term called artificial general intelligence. This is the goal of every single AI company and every single AI innovator to reach, which is extremely difficult. And in terms of where we are right now and where AGI will be, or what AGI references to, it's a long road ahead. But in terms of what AI is just a generic term to refer to anything machine learning. So large language models relate to AI and other types of algorithms as well. What large language models do is allow you to chat with the AI. Some AIs work on their own, some AIs make their own decisions, and they're basically left unfiltered, while large language models require an input for an output, and they do not work on their own per se. They do learn from what you give them, but they need to be commanded in order to respond. They are not fully artificially intelligent, if you will. In terms of the platform and how flexible it is, we do have the way it works is that the categories are not models; they are presets to basically bend the model to your will. So let's say right now we have a quant basic model, so it's our own proprietary model that you can use to train your agent, and we also host the plethora of open Olama models. So I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Olama is basically like a library of open source AIs. And on our platform, because we opened it, we basically developed it to be using our own models as well as any other model that the user seeks to use. If it's an Olama, which most probably it is, you're able to click one or more of these categories in order to adapt that large language model to what you want it to do. So it becomes more accurate in terms of where you want it to basically focus on. Along with your data sets and the categories, you don't need to pick a category, but you can pick one or more, of course, and that will allow the results to be more of what you want it to look like. So it's not, the categories are not their own LLMs. They are basically presets that basically force your LLM to, along with your data set, to think and speak to you back in a certain way. The place where you actually have models is Quant Pro. Quant Pro, because the basic model, which is Quant Basic, which is the platform that's available right now, it's AI adaptation. It's not AI customization. It is enough for everyone to solve their problems most of the time. However, for professionals who want AI customization, which takes GPU, if you're familiar with GPU, you need to go to the Quant Pro model, which is you're birthing your own AI from scratch. So there we have 10 different models that we can go over there in the white paper. And these 10 different models are not born yet. They are basically presets that we've coded ourselves, or they're open source. Some of them are open source, some of them are our own proprietary code, to which you can toggle settings and enter your data sets. And it takes 4 to 5 days for it to train over on our servers. And then after that, it will be born specifically to what you customized it to be. It's not a large language model per se. It is more of a very customizable, very in-tune bot that isn't there to chat with you or do anything else but what you've trained it to do. The large language models are very adaptable. They're very general in purpose. So they chat, you can ask them questions, you can ask it to make a joke, whatever. But the customized models are there to serve your needs 100% of the time, with 100% efficiency to what you've provided for it. That's where the lawyer that I've trained came from. So that lawyer that I trained with, it's basically a fully customized lawyer. It's not an adapted lawyer that's a large language model. It's a fully customized model that I bent to my will, and that it's there to serve me only for my lawyer issues, and it cannot do anything else, basically. So that comes with the pro version. And the pro version is more close to what training agents and customizing agents comes to be. However, because the pro version is super complicated and it's destined for 5% of the bigger issues, then most of the people will not find value in it. That's why we went down from the pro version and created the basic version for everyone to enjoy, to learn, to find help, to decrease their efficiency, to increase their efficiency and decrease their expenses. And that way they can work with their teams, work by themselves, work with their channels, and wherever it may be, and basically make more money for themselves without seeking third party or outside help of any sorts, or trying to find some person to come and take over those responsibilities. I just want to make a disclaimer: AI will, for now, does not replace humans. It just increases the efficiency of the user. So do not try to replace humans with AI. Just leverage AI to, rather than doing one task a day, you can do 3 tasks a day with AI, for example. And that's what I always say. The human element is always important. However, AI will allow you to be more efficient in what you do, and even be more creative in how you're doing it. So
100% agree with that. And now I was looking at like the kind of like the revenue that you touched on. Now I know 1% comes just strictly from the buy and sell tax. How are you guys planning to monetize some of the different products or services that you guys have going forward? Obviously, you need to hit a certain level of adoption or like usage before you can kind of really scale it out from like the pricing or monetization side of things. But yeah, just curious how you guys plan to scale that and what the benefits are going to look like on the revenue side and participation as well. You mentioned the top wallet received about 3K on the last revenue share that you did. Now, how did they receive that? Did they just strictly by holding? Is there any requirements like, you can't sell within that specific revenue period to qualify for the next one? Once staking goes live, I know you guys have allocated 15% of your supply for staking. So are you guys going to do more of a stake to earn on the revenue side in the future? Really just looking to dive deep into the revenue share and the monetization of your products.
touched on it already. I think maybe you cut off while I was speaking on that point. However, in order to enjoy revenue, you have to be staked already. So the only precursor to enjoying ETH revenue is you have to be on the staking pool, part of the staking pool at that moment in time. Revenue disbursement comes arbitrarily, so we don't announce when we're doing it. We don't do it on a regular intervals. We basically disperse revenue on an arbitrary time. We pick our own time, we do it, and then we announce that we've done it. So the way it works is that if you're staked, if your wallet is staked, then you enjoy your ETH revenue to your wallet directly with no need to do anything really, while still enjoying APR. So you get your tokens in terms of staking, and also you get ETH revenue in terms of how much the business model makes. And to talk about user usage and scaling and all sorts of these things, right now we have around 11K active users. So through the last 2 months, we went from 0 to 11,000, and that's through no marketing. It's just pure word of mouth and some partnerships with different projects. Our bot usage and our web platform usage is skyrocketing with no need of any sort of marketing. That's right now which phase we're in. We can touch up on that in a little second. So right now we have 11K users, 11,000 that is, on our bots as well as on our platform. They all share a database. The way revenue is divided is 1% of all volume, like you said, goes into that revenue sharing wallet to keep consistent volume flowing into the revenue sharing wallet. Then 20% of all subscriptions for our premium and pro versions, for Quant Pro and our premium bot versions, go into that wallet. 20% of all Quant solution contracts, so that's the bots we built for other projects like we're doing for TTF right now. Everyone is familiar with TTF, of course. TTF bot, that is the scanner. basically we're bringing it to life, and through that we've done a contract and we're building it right now. After that's built, of course they pay for our services, and that goes 20% of that goes into that revenue sharing wallet. We have ad streams as well. So right now ads are not live yet, but once, because we have such a big footprint and how many active users we have for our bots, ads will become very accessible very fast for everyone once we have a proper framework for them. And all the revenue from those, not all of it, but a portion of it will go into, of course, the revenue sharing package. And there's like multiple other streams of income that we have not yet announced. However, there's at least two more that I can think of, and another two that are going to come later on once we innovate a little bit more. I wanted to touch up on one thing as well. For the last 2 months, we focused, this is something I should have touched up on at the beginning. In the last 2 months, we focused primarily on development and tech. And that's that's the heart of the project. It's not marketing and hype. So we also want to have something there before we market, unlike a lot of the other projects. So we focused for the last 2 months immediately and just primarily on product and tech. And we've basically delved into maybe a nice ecosystem. There's so much more to produce, and there's so much more that has been produced in the background. However, we're going to take our foot off the brakes and the foot off of the pedal for a second, and then put it on the marketing pedal for now to get to where we actually need to be in terms of chart and value. So that's a quick breakdown of the revenue and how it works and how you can get revenue. And of course, if you have any other questions in terms of how that works, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, so you had mentioned that you could kind of stake at any point, and it's not preset in terms of a date announced in the future. So it's a bit more, well, not like volatile, but just a bit more random, so people can't kind of front load it. Now, the time that you're staked prior to that revenue share getting paid out, does that have any influence on how much is received? So for example, like if I were to just randomly stake on a Tuesday and you guys pay out rev share on a Wednesday, like is somebody who has been staked for 2 weeks prior to that Wednesday going to receive a larger benefit or more of a benefit for that support window being much longer than myself, who maybe threw in that stake the day prior and maybe even have been less than 24 hours for me? So does time play in, or is it more so just the amount that you've got staked?
So because it's arbitrary, I think we thought about this, and I think it would have been unfair to do so because people stake on their own accord, and we don't want to keep people hostage in terms of I need to keep staking to receive revenue. And of course, that still is the risk for people because they got to keep staking in order to get revenue. But when they stake, it's completely up to them. We do not basically penalize people on when they stake and how long they stake. However, there are 3 different pools in the staking pool. One being a 14-day pool, one being 28-day pool, and one being a 56-day pool. Each pool receives a different amount of ETH revenue. So the 14-day pool has a certain APR, of course. All of them have certain APR. The 14-day pool receives only 5% of revenue that we're going to disperse. The 28-day pool receives only 15%, or I think 10%. I might have been mistaken. And then the 56-day pool receives 85%. So the way it works is that you're always incentivized to stake for the longest period. And after you stake for the longest period, you cannot unstake without having a penalty. You can claim your daily rewards, of course, but you cannot unstake your bag without the penalty. So people are already stuck in there, and they get their APR and they get their ETH revenue while being there. And that's how we keep people happy. And of course, having ETH revenue was probably one of the best incentives for someone to stake, other than the APR, of course. And it's also good for us because you can get your revenue without needing to sell your tokens. So that's a perfect way. And that's why we had such a tremendous amount of staking going on immediately. We have around a bag that's worth around $45,000 staked immediately. So the guy bought and staked immediately just to be a part of that rev share, and he's going to restake every time we do so. So the incentives are there to stake. The incentives are there to pick your pool, pick how much you want APR, pick how much you want in terms of revenue sharing. And we do not, because it's arbitrary, Then if that person staked on a Tuesday, we did the revenue sharing on Wednesday, then that person just got extremely lucky. And that luck will not be replicated, of course, because no one knows when the revenue share.
No, that's understandable. And no, I appreciate you going into some additional detail there for me. Now, I did have a question. So a lot of the times people are curious to know because if you look at the supply breakdown, there were a few team wallets. It's not a big amount. It was only 5%. Um, at initial distribution, but will those wallets be excluded from the staking process? I've seen it done both ways. Um, Obviously, sometimes if the team's staking and using those funds to benefit the project and it's being tracked and transparent, like I've seen it done that way, but I've also seen it done where it's just completely excluded. So that's one thing I wanted to ask. And outside of that, I just had one other question, but I'll save that for after on the revenue share, and then we can move on.
Yep. So of course not. Yeah, we're not going to do something like that. Honestly, everything is public. So all the wallets for all the amounts are public. So if we stake, you guys can see that because everyone has all the wallets and the locked amounts and whatnot. So of course we're not gonna hijack the staking pool for our own benefit, but we're already benefiting enough in terms of keeping the project alive and keeping everyone satisfied. And ETH revenue share is meant for the holders and not for us. So. We want you guys as much as possible to enjoy as much revenue as you can, and that also allows you guys to be part of the project. So if you guys get us, like if you're a stakeholder, you're also incentivized to get us new users, to get us new projects. So it's your hard work. A lot of our stakers also are part of our business model, so they got us a lot of partners, a lot of Quant Solutions clients. So it's basically only meant for the holders, because I myself have invested in Quant from my own money, and I didn't even stake that because it's not fair for anyone to do so. So the staking is only no one from the team is staked, no team wallets are staked, no any sort of wallets that we have in our control are staked. It's only meant for the holders and the stakers.
That's good. I mean, I've seen it done both ways, where maybe they take a small amount and utilize it for community incentives, buybacks, stuff like that. But personally, I kind of like the way where it's excluded and just kind of more for those contributing from a community member's
We already
perspective.
have our tokenomics for that. So our tokenomics already accounts for all these things and everything we need to do in terms of buybacks, in terms of revenue, in terms of development, in terms of operations and marketing. So the cut has already been decided since the beginning, and we do not need any extra.
Yeah, I had
Thankfully,
a question sent to me in my DMs actually while we were talking, and somebody just wanted some clarification. So when you're referencing the APR, that's that 15% from the initial supply, and that's going to be paid out in like the native
tokens.
token,
Yep.
and the rev share is all native to ETH. I just wanted to make sure I specified that for them because I did have a
100%,
question come
100%. So
through.
it's native. You get APR and you get ETH revenue. So you get both. APR is in tokens and the revenues in ETH. So you get that straight to your wallet. You can do whatever you want with that. Doesn't hurt the token. It just gives you more incentive to stake, and as well as it keeps you part of the project and keeps you happy, of course.
Yeah, just wanted to cover that off for listener, and then I just mentioned I had one. It's more of a curiosity. So with the 14 clients you'd mentioned you guys have onboarded or worked with so far, what's what have you guys earned off of that? And just like how much has been distributed back to the rev share, and then how much gets put back into kind of development and company growth?
Okay, so basically, we just started like Quant Solutions, which is the business tier, so we can refer to it with its correct name. Quant Solutions, basically, like I said, allows for clients in the project realm or the business realm to come and allow us to basically build them their own bots specific to their ecosystems or specific to what they want them to do. Each contract is on a on a case to case basis. So depending on the work and what the deliverables are, what the requests are, the price differs. So, but I can tell you with confidence that the cheapest it will go for is around 2 to 3 ETH. That's the cheapest we would ever charge for someone trying to ask for something basic. Right now, like we started on working with our first client around last week. So we have 14 clients waiting for their turn, 13 clients waiting for their turn, and we're basically just tending towards TTF right now. for our because it's mutually good for us, as well as it's good for our exposure, because TTF is the most used scanner across the space. So in terms of value, it's not only monetary, it's also exposure wise. And projected to the future, it's a huge ton of revenue, and 20% of that goes back to that revenue sharing wallet, which is basically owned by the stakers. So you can you can make your own projections. We have our own projections as well internally, because we know the nature of the requests, but because we want to keep that private, then we won't come out with that until the request has been delivered. So after we, for example, finish our work for TTF, then we would publish everything and have it basically public. And once we become a bigger enough team, so right now we're around 7 people in the team. We have some technicians, we have our CTO, Pepe, me as a CEO, and we have Manushak as CEO. Once we have a bigger team, then Quant Solutions can go public. And once Quant Solutions go public, we can basically adhere to hundreds of different requests by different projects and have technicians working with each and every project towards their product. Because right now I have to cancel on around like 7 different clients that show they have no value back in terms of exposure. That the 14 different clients that I chose to have and for Quant Solutions to begin with are all there because they bring not only monetary revenue, but also brand equity value to the project. And then that's why we're doing it case by case basis. But after we announce that Quant Solutions has gone public, then we can adhere to like 30 different clients at the same time, let's say, and we can have hundreds of different requests, and then the revenue for that is going to be insane when that happens.
Like again, that was kind of like the last point I really wanted to go into with the revenue share. I feel like we really deep dived that. And again, it's important with something that's like more enterprise facing, like you guys are trying to be, to cover that off for growth, so people understand how to participate and what they can expect in the future, forecast wise. So thank you so much for that, Bong.
Of course. And if there's any other curiosities, I'm happy.
No, I wanted to kind of switch and get into more of the actual tech, right? Because, revenue share is great, but it's all about kind of what makes you guys as a brand unique and how you guys are going to push the tech, some of the things to come. So I don't know if you want to go through a little bit more product by product. I know you gave a nice overview of some of the different aspects that you guys are currently offering with your 2 different bots, as well as your AI trainer in the overview. But I did want to spend maybe even just 3 to 5 minutes on each of your 2 current flagship products that are available, and kind of touch on some of the future additions and when people may be able to expect those to roll out.
100%, of course. So basically we have
if you want to start with Sir Quant,
of course
that works for me.
I think the best way to do this, I'm gonna give you like a nice explanation, but I think the best way to do this is to show you. For everyone else, I mean, a picture says 1,000 words, so videos are even better, and I think I'll leave Pepe to do that. But to give you a explanation of what Sir Quant is what hosts your agent that you train on our platform. So after you train your agent on a platform, you can export it to Sir Quant. So what does Sir Quant do other than just host your agent? It's a governance bot, AI governance bot. So what it does is it has a set of different features. First, it has a feature which allows your AI agent to mod your group. So what that means is that you can throw out all the different sort of different tools that you have already, like Safeguard, Rosebot, etc. And you can basically mod your group in real time with your agent, and also filter out malicious activity, like all those proposals or all those people trying to shield different tokens, or people trying to hijack your contract address with the same name. So that through AI, you could basically increase that efficiency by almost like 60 to 70% from what is already out there. So that's the first feature. Then you have the web feature, which allows you to basically let your AI agent to scour the internet and give you a brief explanation of what's happening. So let's say Bitcoin halving is happening, and your community wants an explanation to what's happening, why it's important, and everything. So you can just put /web with Sir Quant, and basically it gives you, it scours the internet, collects it, summarizes it, puts it in a nice format, and then has an immediate answer for you in around like 30 seconds. We also have a GPT version, so if you have general purpose questions outside of the realm of your agent, then you can put slash GPT and ask GPT immediately on your group through Quant. And we also give, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but we allow GPT-4 free access, so you do not need to pay for GPT-4. You can use it for free on our platform or on Quant. We also have a summarize feature, which, let's say we're having a recorded AMA such as this, and a lot of people missed out on it because we have around 70,000 members and only 500 members, 500 participants are in this AMA. I'm not trying to denote that it's a lot of people, but there's around 65.5K that didn't join. So what you do is you put the recording on your chat and you reply to that recording with /summarize, and then it sifts through the whole recording, gives you a nice one-page summary of all the points that were said in the AMA, and gives it to the people who couldn't attend it and don't have the time to listen to the recording. We also have a text to speech. So let's say you have a whole different, like a whole TDLR long announcement, and people just want to listen to it rather than read it. Then you can basically reply to it with TTS/TTS, and then it will read it out for you while you're listening, doing some other things. And also this whole thing, with this whole Quant, it allows for something called real-time scraping. So the way that works is that everything that is said on a group that Quant is active on and an admin of, it's recorded into your agent. So all the data that's being said on the group and all the conversations that are being carried out on the group are recorded by your agent. And what that means is that your agent is able to update itself on the sentiment of the group and of the users, whether it's a project or a channel like yourselves. And it's able to train itself even more with real-time data. And in the future, it's going to be able to act fully as a human. So you don't need to command the bot. The bot can, through context, figure out that someone is asking a question. And if no other admin has answered that question, then it's able to answer that question for itself. So you have some sort of 24/7, fully active, non-complaining mod that doesn't really miss the point. So it's trained on your data, so it's always going to be accurate to what you want it to be. So that's a brief explanation to what Quant can do. In terms of, actually, let me see if you have any questions, and we can move on to Miss Tunes.
I really like that feature. I mean, we utilize something like that for the back end on the AMAs as well with the summarization aspect. It's really handy. So that's definitely a tool that people would use. On the Audible side of things, and then the text to speech is, very user friendly, right? Like, I know personally, like, it's very difficult to try and multitask, and unfortunately in crypto, you kind of have to multitask a lot of the times. You'll have charts up, and then you'll also be doing something else in the back end. So yeah, to have that, so people can actually focus on one thing and then receive the information via audio cues from your text to speech is really good. So yeah, those are definitely handy features to come in, and those will be available in all models of the like, you guys will also offer that type of stuff on the enterprise level as well, I'm assuming.
Of course. We do offer even white label solutions for both Quant and Mistune. So that's another stream of income that I forgot to mention. We already have a couple of different projects that are running our white labeled models of Quant and Mistunes. We have the art studio that I told you about. They trained their own model and they white labeled it to call it Jeezy, and they have it running, and their feedback was very, very, very good. They're very happy with what we provided them. And we also have a different meme coin that I don't want to mention, so I don't want to shill it. But they basically white labeled Mistunes. And it's, if you ask them, it's one of the biggest precursors to their success, because like I will get into later on, people can engage with the community in a nice way. So we also offer white labeled solutions in order for you guys to have your own name on it, and with your own agent, and it's going to mod your group, and it's going to do everything you want an AI to do in real time, especially with Quant and governing groups. That's something that we really saw that there was a need of in the space, and that's why we innovated in that direction.
Now, like, how flexible? Because one of the maybe the issues or criticisms I've seen from people across Telegram with some of these like chat bots, since it's switched from more like human modded to maybe AI supported or um, moderated base, is being banned or restricted. So like how flexible or how strict, I guess, would be the opposite side, is your like Sir Quant chatbot, or even within Miss Tunes, like is there any certain language that she would kind of have a negative response to, and that individual may be removed to avoid any negative or like situations you kind of don't want as a project?
So because it's modding through context, then the admin can really fine tune whatever context he doesn't want to be set on the group. And we basically we experiment on ourselves. So everything I've told you has been beta tested on our own group. And right now, let's say a shiller comes by and then shills a different project and uses specific language that Rosebot doesn't have the block lists for. Even though it doesn't, the Cirquant can basically figure out that this guy's trying to shill a different project and then ban them immediately. I could say that we have around a 95% success rate. There is that 5% that isn't doing so and gets banned by mistake or muted, that is. But basically, the more that you basically filter out for context, the bigger the accuracy. And I could confidently say that no matter like the mistakes that it does are very, very, very minimal. But when you do when it does a mistake and you find out about it, then you can fix it immediately, and then it never makes that same mistake ever again. So the admin can basically filter out certain contexts as much as he wants to or she wants to, and it doesn't really matter. It's just up to the admin to filter out what they want, honestly.
No, I like that. It has to be somewhat flexible. Um, but I like it kind of plays into how good of a job or how well like are people like using the trainer, right? Like how much advantage are they taking of that other service that you guys provide, so that they can really do a good job pre integration, making sure it's up to speed, right?
100%. So it's like basically getting a new employee or a mod in terms of crypto. You got to get that mod, you got to educate them, you got to tell them all the specific things, and that the mod might take 2 to 3 weeks to learn how you guys want to sound and etc. So every single thing, even humans in this world need training, and there's going to be a training period, maybe let's say 2 3 weeks for certain jobs, maybe even more for different types of jobs. What's nice about AI is that that training can be done in seconds. So the AI is always going to be as powerful as the data that you feed it. The LLM that is going to be as powerful as the data you feed it. So if the data is not up to par, then you cannot expect the AI to be up to par for what you want it to be. The more data you give it, the more commands that you give it, the more that it trains itself, the more real-time data that it scrapes, the more accurate it will become. And what's nice about that is it's like I could say 1,000 times quicker than any human can ever be, because it's only trained to do one thing and that one thing only, and it can never shift away from your commands. So every time that it makes a mistake, you can correct it immediately, and it takes 1 second to really correct it. So it's your efficiency it's exponential. So at some point you're going to reach that 99%, and then basically the AI can train itself with the data forever, with the real-time data, which is your chat data and on your group or wherever it may be. Right now we're only on Telegram, by the way, but we're also gonna go into Discord, Twitter, Instagram, emails, etc. So you can use all our solutions and uh, different types of social media, basically.
But like some of the different integrations, like how how intrusive it is, like the like what people may need to install to have that data scraped. Like I know security is always a big topic of discussion around anything.
Of course.
So yeah, just really curious to know what the I guess requirements might be, or what somebody has to do to really interact with your tech.
So all you need to do is just basically go train your agent on the web platform, export it into Cirquant, and make Cirquant admin. That's all you need to do. And you can interact with Cirquant from inside Telegram. You don't need to do anything from outside Telegram. It's all inside there. All the admin settings are inside. all the different types of features that you can turn on and turn off are inside. So you don't need to have any sort of system, any sort of apps, or any sort of drivers. You can do this with anything. You can do it through your phone as well. You could train your AI agent from your phone and then export it into Telegram through SirQuant and then toggle SirQuant from inside Telegram. Everything's run on our own servers. We have our own servers. So all the information is encrypted. We don't even have access to the information beyond the user that's toggling that certain fee, like the bot. So we only know the user that's using it. We don't know all the data that the agent's being trained with, all the things that the agent is scraping is all under 256-bit encryption. We don't have access to those. And then there's also a feature that's going to come up quite soon that's even going to basically tie your security to a certain set of numbers, which will be super. I'm being very cryptic right now, but it'll be very, very nice in terms of security and in terms of what you can be able to do with that sort of security as well. And you can manage your own data, of course, as well. So.
Like that kind of brings me to like what you guys are doing for more of the user experience side of things, like from a dashboard perspective. Like, are you guys building out or plan to build out a corresponding dashboard or a hub where people can go in and really just kind of monitor, go back? You know, they can pull up things like their revenue share history, types of usage they've had, so that maybe that they can over time generate additional shortcuts or various prompts to, you know, save even more time within, you know, interacting with your tech.
Of course, of course. I mean, those are all on the front end because all the data is already stored in the back end. So it's just a couple of days of development. I think Pepe can delve into that more deeply once he's doing the demo of the whole ecosystem. But in terms of usages, revenue share, what users have, what kind of models they have, what are they doing with each different model, all these things are already, all the data is already there in the back end. So once we roll out some more premium features, the pro versions for the professionals, and also settle on a certain market cap that we can all see that this is the reflection of Quant AI's value, then a lot of different features are going to be rolled out. Right now, we're just taking a step, like I said, we're taking a step back on development and taking a step forward on marketing. But all these things are pretty much there. It's just a matter of when, not really how. We already have all this information.
Awesome. I think we did a pretty good job covering off that. The one thing that's been catching my eye, even when I was going through the white paper and, you know, doing my research the other day, is like how you guys are planning to incorporate NFTs into the ecosystem moving forward, and it seems to be more on the pro and like enterprise level. But yeah, that definitely is something that caught my eye. I don't know what amount of, you know, how much detail or depth we can dive into that, but was really something that I was curious about personally.
All I'll say about the NFTs is that it's going to be a key, basically. It's going to be a gateway towards something a bit more adaptable and customizable.
Then
And there's
in
going to be a lot of perks.
theory, just based on that, in theory, just going off the key theory, like would you be able to then resell your NFTs on the secondary market and, you know, kind of sell the data or the information that you build up within that over time, as long as it's, you know, you're not storing maybe anything personal and you're comfortable with that. Is that something that would also be possible for, you know, future basis?
I don't think anyone would want to sell, like, I don't think the key is there to be, it's a unique key. So for you, in terms of a pathway to what you can accomplish, I'm being very cryptic for a reason. I doubt that anyone would sell it on a marketplace, but yeah, of course they can. Of course they can.
I'm just, you know, thinking if somebody's kind of newer into the space and spent instead of spending those weeks or months building up you know, the data, like, you know, being able to buy or purchase it off of somebody who's spent that time on their own, you know, right? I mean, I get what you're saying in terms of the value. Like, if they're using it, they probably wouldn't want to sell it. But from like the secondary user or like the usage side of things, in terms of having to, you know, being able to pay to kind of skip that training process.
100%, 100%. They could sell it if they'd like to, of course.
I did want to also, I know we're going to spend some time on future products that you guys are releasing outside of Sir Quant and Miss Tunes. I know you talked about future features and like growth within those two bots themselves and products themselves, but what else may you guys be adding into the future? I know you mentioned that your COO Manushik has a lot of experience building up CRMs and ERPs for enterprises. So would you
That's
guys
considered.
be looking to build up something that actually scales like on that side? Like, would you guys be looking to build up like a full data hub CRM where people could go in and utilize the data that you guys are compiling and buy off of that versus having to kind of do it themselves? I used a couple different big CRMs like when I was in the sales industry prior to coming
So the
crypto.
CRM,
So
the data that's going to be used in terms of when you scale, we are already, you could say we pretty much scaled in terms of our competitors who are at a much larger market cap than we are. But in terms of the data, we cannot, like, there's conflict of interest then because there's user security versus accessibility to the data. There is some sort of analytical side of the project that's going to come later in. I'm not going to say too much because it's probably the biggest, the most, like, Pepe, our CTO, is the most passionate about that part of the project. It's going to come in maybe in a month from now, maybe in 2 weeks, depending on what's happening in the market. But in terms of analytics, uh, you can expect something very, very, very organized and very nice and very advantageous in the coming weeks. And that's all I can say, honestly.
don't push any further, but I appreciate you sharing like what you can about that topic. Now, oh my notes page just crashed. Give me a second. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I just lost my page with all my notes on it. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so I wanted to go into kind of what you guys are doing and how Sir Quant's going to play a role because you mentioned a future use case for you guys with him is going to be that community governance. Now, are you talking, that's going to be how the DAO integration plays in through Sir Quant, or is that a different kind of topic or discussion? Like how will those two kind of relate to one another?
So they have nothing to do with each other. That was more basically like a board of directors for the project. After we reach a certain point in our project lifetime, then we're gonna have some sort of board of directors that basically scale the project because we're also gonna go into Web two. I mean, by Web two, I mean like have an actual LLC in the Web two space and provide solutions at a mass scale in Web two. So the DAO will be able to have a foot in both the Web two and the Web three, and that will become more clear as time passes by and certain milestones are met. However, the DAO and CirQuant and governance have nothing to do with each other. But if you mean that a DAO within a project separate from ours can basically have some control over CirQuant, the governance of a community, then that's probably up to um, up to an admin of a project to do so. It's not really something.
The way I kind of interpreted it earlier when you were just talking about that was just almost as if like Sir Quant would be used as a community voting mechanism or a way that you guys could carry out community-based votes or initiatives to see what the direction may be in the future. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought when you meant or when you touched on like the governance with Sir Quant earlier. That's why I thought potentially that would come into play. Like he would be like him as a tool would be utilized to like carry out voting initiatives by communities that integrate it into their.
That's completely on the table still, but that's up to the admin really to do. But like I said, there's gonna be later on. Like I said, there's gonna be a set of different numbers. What I meant by that is wallets, and once wallets are integrated into CircOne, then you're able to basically vote as a wallet or participate as a wallet or whatnot. In terms of later on when there's shilling competitions or any sort of competitions, all these can be held immediately on our governance bot. But that also could play into what you're saying right now as well, depending on how the admin wants to use that feature. Then he could use that feature in any way he'd like to. Honestly, it could be used for voting. It could be used for participating in competitions. It could be used for any sort of thing that the admin can see fit, basically.
Okay, perfect. And then again, like, what are you guys really doing to help with adoption? Because I know one of your big future roadmap items is going to be the Web2 businesses, because there's a lot of potential, being that they're not as accustomed with the blockchain, but they really understand more the enterprise side of things versus crypto projects are a little bit more in the infancy stage on the enterprise level, but obviously kind of start at the blockchain level. So how do you guys help with adoption as you're targeting those Web2 clients in the future, like onboarding, education, and more so just comfort? Because that, I think, is the biggest gap that still exists. People's misinterpretation of how they can get value from the blockchain, or what it actually is, and what it's used for.
In terms of integration of Web2 projects, I mean, it's up to them if whether they want to be integrated into a blockchain or not. Our services are independent of the blockchain, so it could either be working on Web3 or Web2. So our Web2 clients do not need to be or to know anything about anything in the Web3 space. The solutions work the same. The solutions are meant for projects and for businesses and for people, independent of whether they are in Web3 or Web2. And when we integrate our solutions into different sort of social medias, then our mass adoption can go in different directions as well. In terms of premium features, when we can touch upon that right now, because that's how things are integrated. People can pay in for pro through normal payment methods or through credits, through our token, or through Binance Pay, Coinbase Pay. It doesn't really matter. As long as you are a user, you can be in any realm. It doesn't need to be in the Web3 space. It could be in any different sort of space.
Now, I guess on the flip side of that, considering you're not dependent on the blockchain for the Web2 side of things, like, what would be that selling feature, or like what would you identify as like why a Web2 business or brand would pick you guys? Because a lot of times they associate it, sometimes the token or the fact that there is that connection to the blockchain with you versus a strictly a Web2 business. Like they may take it as a bit more risk. So like, as a positioning standpoint, like, how would you guys position yourself from a brand perspective to those Web2 clients, just because you have that token associated and maybe they don't have the understanding of what that entails?
Sorry, Maurice, I disconnected. If you can just repeat.
Yeah, no, of course. I was just saying, like, I completely understand what we were getting at, but a lot of the times, if you're not dependent on your Web2 businesses coming to the blockchain, they may be a little bit more likely to lean on just a Web2 business, because they don't understand the fact that, like, they don't understand the blockchain. So the fact that you guys have a token, they may not get it, or the risks associated with like that as a business. So like, just I think it's more so, it's tough to put into words, but just because I've been on the corporate side, and then I've also been on the, like the end user side in crypto, there's just such a big gap that exists. And so many people from the corporate world or from the Web2 side of things just think there's risk if there's a token or that blockchain association. So just my question was, how do you position yourself in competition to those strictly Web2 businesses that are providing the same types of solutions as you guys?
So the Web2 world lacks a lot of solutions in terms of AI. There are specific AIs that are targeted towards different things, like let's say SolidWorks for engineers. There's a company that I have been in contact with in the Web2 world that is trying to develop an AI that helps with SolidWorks, which is basically like a where the engineers design their products. However, SMEs, which are what we would target in the Web2 world, lack this sort of solutions. And in terms of the risks regarding the blockchain or the tokens, these are independent of what the services we can do and what services we provide. So our services and our solutions have nothing to do with anything related to crypto. It is a crypto project. In fact, that's the nature of the business model. However, in terms of services and solutions, crypto doesn't even need to be mentioned when I'm explaining the tech and what it can do. It can serve everyone's needs, whether they're a child or a senior, whether they're in Web 2 and Web 3, whether they're in management or in investments. It doesn't really matter, or in software engineering. So once I'm approaching or I'm being approached by a Web 2 project, I don't even need to be mentioning that I'm a Web 3 project. Of course I would, but it's not a deal breaker. And the references to that is we already have a art studio that is interested in going to Web 3, and they're just right now researching what they can do and how they can do it. And we have a couple of other Web 2 projects that are also waiting in line. But in terms of, I know what you're trying to say, and I know that when you're trying to do it on a scaled public scale, it might be an issue. But so that when we do that, when we open our solutions primarily in a public fashion to the Web 2 space, of course, we're going to have a Web 2 version of the company. It's going to be an LLC as well, where it will have its own public sale and private sale, and it will have its own Series A, Series B funding later on in the future, and it will have its own staff and everything. It'll be kind of like a separate but the same, like a Trinity type thing. And the way the revenue would shift from one aspect of the company to the other would basically be announced when that happens. But however, as of now, we're basically Web 3 tailing to Web 3. We do have some Web 2 companies, but those Web 2 companies have sufficient information about the blockchain and cryptocurrency that there's no mistranslations when coming to speak about these things. However, with the Web 2 companies that have not had a background in crypto, I have found no sort of difficulties explaining what the service does, because they're looking for AI solutions and we provide them. So it doesn't really matter if we're in project in Web 3 or Web 2. And to those who had curiosities, we just sat down and talked about it, and it was done within an hour, honestly. Because it's not really that much different. You just gotta basically translate their terminology to ours, and then once their translation is effective, then you can explain the whole ecosystem without having the trouble to explain whether Web 2 is real or Web 3 is real or whatever their concern is.
Great answer. And again, it's kind of just a tough question to word, but just coming from like the traditional Web 2 space and now being on this side, I know most people I have a conversation with from my past life just like don't understand even the blockchain, and they just think it's just so much riskier than I mean, there's risk obviously, but there's risk everywhere. So I think
100%.
just the misinformation in that
I
space
think
is
it's not
just
really
lacking.
misinformation. I think it's mistranslation, because I'm still in my business life, and I'm still working as a business manager at Morgan Stanley. So I pretty much understand the way they think, and I understand the way I thought when I first came in. So I think you got to translate apple to apple, because if they don't know the certain terminologies and how it works, they think it's so far away. But in real life, and in fact, uh, crypto is just a hyper. This is a whole different conversation, but crypto is just a hyper pressurized version of real life. This is not really much different. If you just see the certain things and how they work in real life and how they work in crypto, they work exactly the same. The distribution of wealth, all these things, the way that money moves around, the way that projects are born. Projects are like a hyper pressurized version of a startup. It's not really much different. The way the teams work, the work ethic between the teams, it all has to be the same. There are a bit of differences between traditional TradFi and DeFi, but those differences are outweighed by the similarities. Just the terminologies are different. So when speaking to people, I find it best to just anecdotally compare each different subject with Web 2 and Web 3, and then once you make these comparisons and then allow them to understand and give them some time, they come around usually.
It's really well said. Yeah, I won't comment and go further down that rabbit hole with you, but no, it's really well put what you just said there, and I do agree. Especially in terms of the shrunken kind of timeline, it's crazy.
Mhm.
Never like I worked in the, corporate world and I never understood how quickly things moved. Like I thought things moved fast there until you come here and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's just a pressurized version. It's exactly the same, but I think it's just
It's insane.
the velocity of money is so much faster, and that's why things get done and die easier. So you can either live faster or die faster. So that's why crypto is the way it is.
Yeah, so in terms of like your growth and like your future and what's upcoming, and I mean we can kind of maybe go through this, and then if Pepe wanted to come up towards the back end and run through a demo live for everybody. I just wanted to go more into the future and like what you guys are planning to do throughout the summer, any big announcements you guys have coming up. Just kind of put it into more of a 2-3 month time frame for us in future
So I
releases.
think the best way we could do this is that because there's a lot of the things I'm going to say are going to be relating to the products and things to do with the products. I think the best way we could do this is that Pepe do the demo, and then after that we can speak about the future of what Quant AI has to do, if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
All right,
So
Pepe.
just get a double check on his mic. There we go.
Okay. Perfect. All right. It's a pleasure to be on here. First of all, I think Bondig did such a great job with explaining our whole vision and ecosystem of Quant AI. So I'm Pepe, the CTO of Quant. I'm the current lead developer. I've been responsible for all the product builds that we currently have live and the future builds that we will have onboarding onto our platform. So just to start this off, I'm going to be demonstrating our entire ecosystem and showcasing what we currently have built and live for our users available. So just to give a summary before I share my screen, I'm going to be going over our website briefly, our staking app, our web application, two of our products, our main flagship products are Quant and Mistuned. And we also have a complementary product called Stream, which I don't think Bondik touched upon. It's not really AI oriented. However, it's been incorporated within communities in terms of engagement, and I'll touch up on it in a bit. So let me start off just by sharing my screen. If you could verify, Maurice, if you could see my screen.
Looks good. I'm seeing the mic move around the main wording
Okay.
there.
Perfect. Yeah. So okay, this is the landing page for our website. We currently have we have some stats over here. I'm just going to go briefly over the website just to give an overview for the viewers. So our ecosystem currently has 13,000 active users using our products, all our products combined, actually. And the beauty of our products is that they all share a common database. So the way we benefit from this is cater to all different kinds of communities, for communities that are more utility based, or for they can choose to onboard whatever product they want, whether it's Mistu. And we as a company, as Quant, we benefit from that by getting exposure to their user base and growing our whole ecosystem. And the way our holders actually get to benefit from this is later on, as we implement our ad revenue system, they will be getting a portion of the revenue earned from that. We also have our products incorporated onto 140 groups in total. And this has all been organic, to be honest. It's all been word of mouth and just groups just hearing about our tech one way or another, just from people and friends. And our ecosystem has grown massively, just organically, which is great, honestly, and very pleasing to see. So just to give a brief overview of our website, we just have here our partnerships, which include TTF, Bank AI, and some new ones which haven't been added here. Our services, which we have the Quant Basic, which is a free version, which encompasses our web application, where you can onboard and train custom LLMs and then export them onto the bots that we have built as well. I will be showcasing the web application a bit. We have Quant Pro as well, which will work as a subscription framework, and it will be incorporated onto Mistunes. And the way this will work is it will mainly be a credit system where users will be able to pay using our payment processor, such as Coinbase. It hasn't been incorporated yet. However, they'd be able to pay using the cryptocurrency of their choice and load up their account with credits, and then they'd be able to utilize pro features that we will have coming on, such as enhanced music customization for our music generation models and enhanced image generation. We have some image generation models that were actually requested by some users are actually proprietary, and we had it before, but however, we had to remove it temporarily just to accommodate the backend and scale the infrastructure. However, we have decided that we will be adding it onto our Quant Pro um, framework. And we also have the Quant Solutions, which Bondik touched upon a lot. And that's basically in regards to the clients that we will be uh, accommodating their needs in terms of the solutions they offer. Now, it doesn't strictly have to be relating to AI and LLMs. Quant Solutions is a sort of umbrella term in terms of tech that we can build in house using our technology, whether proprietary, whether open source, whether a mixture of that, and we can offer them to our clients.
Pepe,
And here,
while you have
yeah,
these up in front of us, I was just wondering if you could walk us through. This is one thing I forgot to go through with Bondig was the order flow when somebody wants to interact or utilize some of your services. Is this going to be like a form they can fill out online and then somebody will reach out? Could they purchase it directly through the website? I just wanted to talk a little bit about like deal flow or like the sales funnel and like how that works for your services.
yeah, definitely. Are you well, to start off, for example, we have the white labeling solutions. I think that would be a good example to showcase how people could get in touch and how they could apply to get a white label solution for their own group. And similarly, it would extend towards Quant Solutions. So the way it would work, we have this, for example, we have this get white label bot button right here, and we have an add to your group button. So if you click on this button, it's a link onto Telegram, which adds the bot onto your group, and you just click on it, and you're able to just directly add it onto your group, and you just set it as admin, and you're good to go for the usage. Now, for the white label bot version, uh, when you open this tab, it basically opens up a Google form which you have to fill out. Now, this Google form just has some basic details. What would you like the bot's name to be? Just some metadata that we'd need in order to accommodate your request. And we'd be able to see the form filled out, and we get in touch with the user that filled out this form. Similarly, for Quant Solutions, they can either contact us through Telegrams by contacting one of the admins or filling out a form, and we will get back to our clients accordingly. I hope that answered your question, Maurice.
It did, and now with regards to like the easy add option, I'll just call it that, where somebody could directly add the group or the bot to their group. Is there are you guys planning or going to try and build in like even a 5-minute tutorial or some kind of learning so that as people integrate, they're, maybe not an expert, but their experience is going to be accelerated just that much more, and they're more likely, from a word of mouth perspective, like we talked about a couple of times throughout the AMA, they're more likely to have that good early experience, not resort back hopefully to some of those past tools that they've been using, and then push you guys as somebody who enjoyed what they experienced across the space from word of mouth.
Definitely. Of course, that is an essential part and that is actually a huge goal of ours, which is to onboard users with complete ease of use. So we do not want any friction with the whole onboarding process. We had some short form content made out recently. They're posted on our Twitter account, on our main Twitter, and I think Bondig wrote some very nice threads explaining very clearly and concisely uh, our ecosystem, our products one by one, and there's a short form video which showcases just gives an overview of the products that we have and how to use them basically. However, we are working on a longer form content which will be available also on our website. It's going to be on YouTube as well. However, it will be on the landing page on the website. If people would like to view it, it would actually showcase um, a more in-depth explanation of step by step on how to use each of our products, how to onboard, how to click, how to add it to your group, how to promote as admin, how to use the commands, how to do all that stuff. So the long form content is actually being worked on right now. I think it's in the process. The short form content's already live on our Twitter alongside the Twitter threads, which are available as well in case users are interested in viewing those.
Just shared those with our chat. So if anybody's looking to take a look at some of those threads that Pepe was just mentioning, I did just drop them in the community chat on the post on the channel.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for that. Okay.
Gotta thank
So
Bondig. He sent them over to me, so I was able to get it done.
great. Okay, so to proceed with the website, so we just have our products here listing. We have the Sir Quant and Miss Tunes and just some explanation of their capabilities. We have our roadmap here, which right now we are in phase 2 of our roadmap. So we built out a lot of the tech. We rebranded actually our entire look for the project. We actually had an older look. I think we rebranded around 1 month ago. And so far, everyone has been loving the new style. Right now, we're in phase 2, and it's basically looking for mass adoption of our products and marketing. So we have all our products, well, 90% of our roadmap in terms of products is completed. Of course, there will be complementary and supplementary features later on added in the future. However, as for the MVP and for what's going to give us really that push to strive forward, we have it done and all set. So now we're really focusing on marketing and pushing forwards and getting the word out there about Quant and what we do as a whole. So it's an exciting time to be here. The team and I actually have put in a lot of effort and work to get to this stage, and we're actually just going to keep pushing forward as much as we can. And here we have the
Guys,
tokenomics. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, you guys seem like really head down kind of people, which I respect. I'm definitely not a hype guy myself, so I apologize if sometimes my questions maybe come off a little bit boring or like it's like I'm digging because yeah, like I'm really just I always find if you can really answer like repetitive or not repetitive questions, but just like follow-up questions, like the string of questions well and have similar answers to each, it really does show a deeper level of knowledge and understanding of what you're building. I feel like what Bonding mentioned earlier is very true in terms of how like a lot of the times just the way the space flows. And yeah, you guys seem like you have the right mindset. You're not focused on the hype, and utility plays once maybe volume and more focus comes off of these stupid celebrity memes we're seeing right now and comes back in here that people are always looking for teams and projects that have kind of kept their head down and built. And yeah, I just wanted to make a comment on that because yeah, I like your work ethic and your mentality throughout the AMA. It's been good.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think actually you've been asking some very good questions throughout this AMA, and I think Bondeg has did a great job explaining very well about the entire ecosystem. And I attribute that actually to the beauty of our team in terms of where we're all experienced in our fields accordingly. So each person is actually able to tunnel vision and do what he does best and really focus on that realm and really push forward and accelerate the project. So that is the real beauty of the teamwork that we have together at Quant. And yeah, so just to get back to the website. So the tokenomics that we have here, they're all listed here. We have our wallets are mainly locked. We have a 5% buy and sell tax. And this is just meet the team. Then just a simple, nice and sleek website. So I don't want to spend too much time on the website. Just to move on, I'm going to demonstrate the staking app that we have. So I'm currently connected right here with one of our wallets. This is the testing wallet that I use. It's actually just I just stake like some small amounts, which are negligible, just in order to showcase how this would all work. So we have 3 staking pools. We have the 14-day, 28, and 56-day pools. So the way these pools work is that we have a global timer set for each pool, and this timer basically will reset based on the duration that is set accordingly. So right now we have the 28-day pool, which doesn't show the time left because this staking pool actually ended a couple of days ago, and I announced it on the group. So the pool will be resetting tomorrow. But for example, for the 56-day pool, you guys could see that we still have 17 days left until this pool is over. And the way this works is that people can choose to stake as time goes on. They would not get a separate instance of the staking pool whenever they choose to stake their tokens. They just stake globally with a common staking pool, that is shared by everyone. So once this pool, for example, right here, the 28-day pool, it ended, nobody will get rewards anymore, and you're able to withdraw your tokens without being penalized. However, once the staking pool is live, as we can see in the 56-day one, um, if users choose to withdraw their tokens, they will actually be penalized around 20%, I believe. So the rewards they'll be getting would be in the form of the native token that we have, the ERC20 token, and these are the respective APRs that they would get by choosing to stake. Users also benefit from Ether rewards, which our community has actually really found great joy in and have managed to reap a lot of benefits from it. So we have the 56-day pool holstering the largest benefits, which is 85% of our Ether rewards share. I think our last Ether reward distribution was around 7 to 10 days ago. I'm not sure about the exact date. However, we distribute around 8K in total in terms of Ethereum, and around 30 to 35 people. So the rewards are actually pretty enticing for a lot of our stakers that chose to stake a large portion of their tokens. So we advise all our community members and long-term holders to actually stake. Might as well just make some revenue since you are in it for the long run and benefit from what our ecosystem has to offer in terms of rewards given back to our holders. So that's what we have for the staking. Now to dive deeper into our web application, which is the heart and soul of Quant. So to start this off, we have an interface where you guys have probably seen we don't have much activity on this interface since a lot of our users within the crypto space tend to really rely on Telegram usage for our agent training and usage. However, if you guys would prefer using it on the web app, we have it as well as an option. So you can select the model here. We have some models that might seem gibberish for a lot of people. However, you guys might find GPT-4 familiar. And I'm going to go deeper into these models as I explain the web application and its usages and all that nice stuff. So I'm going to skip this part since we've all seen what a GPT interface can do and how you prompt it. However, to go into some of the sections that we have Ollama model files. So to explain what Ollama is briefly, Ollama holsters an ecosystem of open source LLMs, and our web app, the initial vision of Quant was basically to allow the complete customization and onboarding of LLMs of your choice. So we didn't want to just incorporate the standard GPT-4 as some of our competitors are doing, which is pretty low effort. We chose to really allow our users to be able to onboard any LLM of their choosing with the Ollama library. And the way this web app works is we are able to, with a click of a button, and pretty much onboard any LLM that is found on Ollama. Ollama can be viewed online on Google, and if we know like is evolving and new tech is always coming out, it's very beneficial to have this feature. So the web app it does is it links to Ollama on the backend. We have an instance of it running on our servers, and whenever Ollama adds new LLMs to the library, it would just download that LLM from the library and it'll be available to our users instantly within seconds. So I have a model file here with one of the Ollama models, which I'm going to dive deeper into. Now, a model file is basically, in its essence, if I were to just create one right here, you can give it a name, you can give it a description, it creates an ID here, and we can select the model. So we already have these Ollama models onboarded onto our platform. We have Gemma, which is Google's LLM. We have Code Llama, which is a pretty popular one as well, and it's optimized within the realms of code. We have Mixtral Llama 2. We also have some uncensored LLMs onboarded for people that want to make use of fully unrestricted LLM usage. So the way this would work is you just fill up this metadata, you'd select a model, and for the system prompt, you'd enter the text. So we tried to really, the only way was that this entire project was going to work is in order to make it usable for the masses was to allow training through text. Now, there's an alternative for more tech-savvy people, where I think Bondig was mentioned it in regards to birthing a new model from scratch, and then you'd have to train this model by feeding it different parameters. However, that is the issue with that is it does not cater to the majority of the users who are not really familiar with this space. So we decided to really uh, use text as a form of training, and I will showcase in a bit what it looks like. To be able for users to be able to simply just select a model of their choice and just train it with the text that they would give it. For example, if we were to go back here and just look at this multi-agent uh, model file. So it has some text here: initiate central intelligence mode. Central intelligence is just basically guiding this LLM in terms of what its tasks are, what it's supposed to do, and it's sort of giving personality towards it and giving it some data, which the LLM will be able to utilize that data and answer certain questions that the users ask it. So that's what we have for the Olama. Now, for the Quant Basic model file, it's more of a proprietary model that we advise all our new users and people looking out to try out our tech to use these models, since it acts more of as a general purpose LLM that's optimized in many different areas. So it would be pretty much ideal for most use cases that you're looking for. And we actually have this model file right here, which is Quant Moderator. It's being used in our main group. And the way I'm actually going to showcase it in a bit on the Telegram end of things. However, we have trained it with data for Quant. We have given you give it links, for example. You tell it you can specify the sort of personality that you want your LLM to have. It basically works like you'd feed it the project's white paper, and it will be responsible for answering all questions about your project based off the data that you give it. So the more accurate the data that you give it, the more accurate the responses are. And a future feature that we'll have is you'd be able to as well um, add links onto here. So if you add a link to your website, it would scrape data off your website and it would store it in memory, and the LLM would be able to utilize that portion of memory in order to answer your questions alongside uploading PDFs. And that would be beneficial in terms of uploading a white paper, where the LLM where our backend would simply scrape the data and feed it onto the LLM, which would be stored permanently in its own instance for further usage by the users. So the beauty about our LLMs and our system as a whole is we have a sort of self-editing memory feature incorporated. So each time you're prompting the LLM with new questions, those questions are being saved for further usage and to look back at. For example, if you asked if we ask Quant, for example, a question about I don't know something about what I did yesterday about 7 days ago, it would be able to recall that question and answer accordingly if you were to answer something similar to that a week afterwards. So memory is always saved, it's always intact, and it's always being added on top of your user instance, where you'd be able to benefit from that. So just to showcase now, I've been talking about a lot about how these LLMs we can create, onboard, train. Now, the beauty of it all lies within the products that we've built on Telegram, where you're able to export these LLMs and use them there directly with your user base and with your community. So if you click here on this export button, okay, we have a command that we can copy. And it's just very simple. You just have to go to the bot Quant, and you just paste this command onto the terminal. I mean the prompt line, and it would link. 1 second, I think I need to switch my screen. Okay, can you guys see my Telegram?
We got it back.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, yeah. So I have the command copied right here, and we just have to link link the LLM on the web app onto Telegram. So just by entering this command right here, we have it successfully linked. And we can confirm this also by checking using the check command. We have the current model file is set to quant, which is, this is basically the ID that is found on a web application for the LLM. So the commands that we have for searquant is, I'm just going to give a brief overview, then I can demonstrate a bit of how they work. We have GPT, which utilizes the latest model of GPT-4o. It's free of charge for all users that wish to use it. It just takes in a text prompt, GPT. We also have, now in order to utilize the LLM that you just created on the web app, you'd have to use the ask command. So ask, the way it would work. So we have, we currently have the quant moderator linked from our web app onto our Telegram. So it's actually trained with Quant AI data. So I can just ask it like Quant AI useful links, for example. It'll be able to answer also Quant AI admins, anything you just ask it. It'll be able to basically just cater towards all your needs. So as you guys can see right here, we have all the links just shown up in a user-friendly form. And the way this works, or the reasoning behind it, was basically to innovate within the space, within the realm, and incorporate it into the crypto space. Since we noticed a lot of the tech is actually outdated, and it utilizes like static commands and functions such as like filters and block lists. Like users nowadays would be able to just literally use ask command, ask anything about the project, upcoming. It could also be, it could also work as a way where it could reference like previous audio files such as AMAs. It could reference upcoming updates. You could just keep feeding the model file with new data that's up to date, and your users can literally benefit and get to see what you guys are working on as a whole. And we made it work as a general purpose solution for all projects. So anyone can literally just right now go on our web app, train their LLM with their data, keep updating it, and their community will be up to date and be able to utilize the commands that we have in place instead of using the old commands, which might be a bit confusing for newer users within the space. So for the GPT and ask command, we also have the web command. The web command utilizes real-time scraping of the internet. I'm just gonna quickly just current price of Bitcoin. It just gathers data off the internet and then feeds it into another LLM, which parses it and sends it back to the user. So that is actually very useful if you're looking for latest news, current prices of certain coins, whatever you need. It'd be able to scavenge the internet and reply with a user-friendly format. We also have the summarize command, which has been extremely useful, and we've been using it each week on our weekly MA. We host a weekly MA every Tuesday at 8 p.m. UTC, or 7 p.m. UTC actually. And we have been using it for the past 3 to 4 weeks, ever since it's been implemented. The way it works is you like and then you reply to the audio file with the /summarize command. And what it does on the back end is it transcribes the audio into text, and then it utilizes a specially trained LLM, which is enhanced for summarization and preservation of data points. So it feeds the transcribed audio onto that LLM, and then it sends it back to the user onto the main group.
Pepe,
And
if I
it
could just
actually
get
has
you
been going very well. Our
to
community has been really.
sorry to cut you off. If I could just get you to repeat the what you do part, because you just had a bit of a drop of your mic, so then it came back kind of like what it does, but not what you do to like get it to work. So it was only about 5-6 seconds you dropped, but it was just right at the very beginning.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I'll go over it. So for the summarize command, you'd have to send an audio file onto the group, and then you'd have to reply to the audio file with the /summarize command. And what it does behind the scenes is it transcribes that audio into text, and then it feeds that transcribed text into an LLM that is specialized for summarization. So after that's done, it gets sent back to the group in text by covering all the key aspects and key points of the audio file that was sent. And this works extremely well for AMAs. And we have been using it a lot in our group, and our community members have really enjoyed the results of it. So those are the main commands for Quant. We also have a new feature that was added, which pertains to real-time moderating. Now, this is a feature. It's actually a toggle feature, which you can toggle in the settings menu. However, if I click it here, it will not show up, since you'd have to toggle it within a group. So usually you'd see a button here with like a red emoji showing whether it's off. And if you click it, it just turns on. And the way real-time scraping works is it would scrape messages in real time from the group that you have Quant added into. And right now, the way it works is as a innovation for what Rose has in terms of a block list. Block list works horrible, to be honest. If a user changes one letter within that word, it will not catch it anymore. It will not be able to filter it as spam. And we have the current moderating feature optimized towards shilling and just spam. So whatever like messages users would send on the group, if it's like join this pump group or join the signal group, whatever, and it does not fit within the block list feature, we have each message being analyzed by LLM in the backend, which spits out a certain number, and from 0 to 1, and if it surpasses that threshold and identifies it as spam, the user would get muted. So Quant also has the ability to mute. We have not implemented banning features since our real-time moderating is still in the beta version. It's not finalized. As Bonding mentioned, it's covering around 95% of the cases. However, once it reaches around 98 to 99%, we'd be able to finalize it and add banning features as well. They will be also found in toggle settings. If group admins would prefer just to mute, they can do that as well. However, there's always going to be some outliers which you cannot detect, and I've been able to see how that works. For example, we've had some people. I'm pretty sure you guys have probably seen this as well in groups where you'd see some guy like send a message that seems completely normal and it's not really pertaining to shilling or anything. However, that user would send a message saying like, "Oh, I missed out on all these. I can't believe I missed out on the all-time high for Quant," or something like that. So it's impossible for like a block list or even LLM to pick this up. However, he sends an image where he shows like he showcases his website with the website link, and he shows uh, the potential money he could have made from Quant. And like for a new investor that's curious, he would probably go to that website and connect his wallet and get all his funds drained. So this new method of scamming is just trying to get people to go onto the website to drain their wallets. Now, something we're looking at adding onto the real-time moderating is real-time analysis of images as well, to be able to detect this kind of shilling and scam behavior. Implementation has not been decided exactly. However, it's a realm we're looking to tap into as well to cover moderating and to make this feature really stand out and really feature obsolete, basically. So this I've actually had a lot of fun working on it, and it's very promising. So the goal is actually to pretty much replace a full-time moderator with a bot within the group, and we believe we're able to do that. We can also we're also working on a feature which is going to be added. It's also for community engagement. So the bot not only can moderate in real time, it can also answer questions in real time. So the command would be there. However, it's not necessary. If a user asks a question on the group and none of the admins are online or none of the moderators are online to be able to answer that person, Quant would be able to answer that user, since he would be able to pick up all messages in real time and reply to that user accordingly based off the LLM that you trained and you linked onto your Quant. So that's a very powerful feature covering pretty much all aspects of moderating in terms of community engagement, answering questions, making sure no spam and shill is being sent, and yeah, it touches up on all aspects that any group would be looking on from A to Z in terms of monitoring and just making sure the group is up to order. So Quant is a very powerful tool. It has not reached its full potential. However, I'd say it's 80 to 90% there.
Oh, it's very
Now to,
very clean
yeah.
UX too as well. Like just looks yeah, it looks really good. Not like very clean.
Mhm.
Like yeah, just the way it delivers the information is concise, readable. That's important. So yeah,
Definitely.
good job with that.
Thank you. That's what we aimed for, just to make it as user-friendly as possible. And all our products sort of follow a similar theme in terms of conciseness and clarity and then ease of use. So to move on to Miss Tunes now, the reason, okay, just to get back to where we dropped off. So I was just finalizing with Sir Quant, what I had demonstrated. Now to move on to Miss Tunes. So Sir Quant and Miss Tunes were actually one product combined together. However, we decided that it would be beneficial to separate these two products, each focusing on their own realm of specificity. So Sir Quant is now tailored more towards AI assistance, moderating, and just community upkeeping. Miss Tunes is more of a AI content creation and community engagement bot. So the separation actually benefited us a lot. It gave us we were able to create two products doing this, and we're able to really uh, dive deeper into each realms specifically. So Miss Tunes, what it currently has, it's a similar interface as to Quant. We have the music command, which allows you guys to generate music through a text prompt. I will just showcase this now since it takes a bit of time, a couple of minutes just to generate a song. Uh, Let me see. I think yeah, I have a prompt right here ready. So similar, just music, rap song about cryptocurrency AR project called Quant AI. So as this runs in the background, I can just showcase our image generation models. We have two image generation models actually implemented uh, into our ecosystem right now. We have the slash image, which works from DALI 3, and we have slash ultra, which is a proprietary model that we have been using right now. And just to showcase what kind of quality we can expect from this. Now, slash image generates just one variety of the image. However, slash ultra actually generates four versions of that image, just giving more variety for users that are looking to experiment, play around, just see different stuff. And you can switch around between the versions just by clicking on the buttons. And we also have export a sticker command, which just by clicking, we can have the image created and the content created exported as a sticker. We also have the sticker command as a standalone command where you can reply to any image on Telegram and you can have it converted as a sticker. So it doesn't just have to be uh, content that's generated through our bot. It can just be literally any image that you forward and you just reply and you can do slash sticker and it will export it onto a folder that yeah, we can see here says sticker successfully exported.
So
Uh,
I had a question actually from a community member. Now I know this is more so like more on the like entertainment moderation, so it can play music. Somebody was asking though, do you or could you foresee Miss Tunes being used as a way for like artists within the crypto space to like get into a community and then she could record like them, you know, singing, producing whatever their form of music or entertainment would be. And then like she could have the recorded versions and people could use that as a way to like maybe monetize their own voice. Like she could, you know, you guys as a team could create subcategories for different performers or entertainers across crypto, and it could be a great, you know, way for them to share their audience with you, but also monetize like your tech and bring their users to your tool kind of thing. That was a question from Green Panther. So sorry, it was just kind of on topic, so I figured I'd bring it in right now.
Sorry, you disconnected like halfway through the question.
Oh,
Do you mind just
where'd you lose me at?
so the first part of it regarding like so you're saying Miss Tunes will be able to we'd be able to create.
I think I got it. I got it, Pepe. I heard the whole question. Basically, Maurice, right now for the future of the students, we're gonna have voice swaps, so people can basically record the certain sentences that allow the AI to make songs with your own voice, or whichever voice you'd like to pick. Of course, there's a database full of the different voices online, and if you wanna basically integrate that with a certain place where people can upload and listen to each other's music, yeah, then that would be possible, and people can make music with their own voices just by training the AI with their, like, they have to say specific sentences, and the AI could basically record their own voice. That's gonna come way later with our pro features, and you could basically customize the music at a deeper scale. Right now, all you get with the music bot is just basically your prompt, and then your prompt is basically judged by a middle layer LLM that creates a lyrics for you, and the jingle and the instrumentals and everything, and then it's submitted to our music generator, and then it goes backwards basically. But everything you're talking about is already in plan to happen in the future with voice swaps, face swaps, also for the pictures, and then Pepe can basically elaborate further on that in terms of tech.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
sure.
you very much.
Yeah, so just to proceed with just showcasing the current features that we have. So export as sticker. We can use it as a sticker command also just by replying to the image. For some reason, Telegram's sticker API has an issue where you have to, like, the request gets sent successfully. However, I'd have to close Telegram and reopen for it to appear. It's a glitch on Telegram's end that we can't really control. However, I'm just going to showcase like some of the stickers that we have created, or our community has created, for example. We also have an LLM that processes the images and it removes the background, just maintaining the central image in itself. And it would just be added to a folder here, just created, for example, mistunes, stickers, whatever, and it just get added here into another slot. And to showcase the image, the music generation, we have the songs here that were generated. I'm not sure if I'd be able to, I'll forward them to you after I finish the demonstration, just if you'd like to share with your community, just so they can get a feel of what our music generation can do. We've had a lot of meme communities utilize this feature where they would just go in and just create communities for songs for their own communities and just share them, and everyone would love it, and they'd all just go crazy over it. I mean, it's pretty impressive, like what these models can do. It will create lyrics from scratch and the whole beat, and you could give it a genre also. You could do techno, Afro music, country, whatever you'd like. Just specify it in the prompt and just give a bit of a description.
Don't
And
forget about the languages, Pepe, as well. You can make
yeah,
songs in 75 different languages.
yeah, you can make yeah, exactly. I forgot about that too. You can make songs in 75 different languages also, and you just slash music, just type in the language that you want, whatever you'd want, and it would create music within that language. So that's a very cool feature as well. So that's what we have for mistunes. We have image generation, we have sticker conversion, we have text to speech also, which is a feature that's it's there. It's not used that much. However, we have it. Just TTS and your text, and it would convert it into a audio file of someone speaking. It would be useful for if someone is driving and would like to listen to a certain text that was written instead of reading what was typed. We also have music, and that's pretty much what we have for our mistunes AI content generation bot. So we have one more product also, which I'm just going to briefly cover, and it's SurStream. SurStream is a product that we also offer as a white label solution. And the way it works, I can't really demonstrate it because you'd need to have a voice chat open, and you'd be able to. It's a music streaming bot where you'd be able to use commands such as /play and enter the song name that you want. For example, whatever song you'd usually search up on YouTube or Spotify, it actually on the back end it does searches onto those platforms, and then it will play the requested song on the voice chat, and you'd be able to, and community members would be able to use this command to add songs into a queue, and then it would, as the song finishes, the next one would play, and it sort of it ties in with the whole community engagement theme that we have going on with our products. So I think I pretty much covered our entire ecosystem in terms of products. So we have the staking, the web app, and Cirquant and Mistunes. And yeah, if there's anything I missed, let me know, Bondig. But I think that's pretty much it.
Very detailed, so I appreciate that, Pepe. Thanks for rolling with the punches on the technical side too.
Yeah, definitely.
No, Bondig was going to jump into a little bit of kind of the future after the demo was done, so I'll throw the mic back to him. One question from a user though throughout, they mentioned they do some like their business is more of like an online seller. They were curious when you mentioned some of the different avenues you may expand to, if you've thought about building out an AI generated website like support, like customer support tool, so that you could help like online retailers handle queries in a better fashion.
Of course, that's the nature of our business. We are adapting to all different types of needs, depending on what the customer wants and not to what we want to develop. And so, later on, with a certain extensions on the back end of websites, I think Pepe is more in his realm. But yeah, you're able to have a chat on your website that's able to attend to the customers who are trying to buy certain things. If you're doing drop shipping or e-commerce or whatever it may be, then you have your own mod on that website, and then you can basically allow that mod to connect to an agent, which is you, in the worst case scenario, where the customer wants to speak to someone human. I think this is Pepe's specialty as well. He's worked on these types of things for a lot of different projects as well prior. And later on, once we are being able to basically go back into the product development realm, we'll have all these deliverables available to people, for people of this nature who are e-commerce or drop shipping or whatever it might be, doing on a website, having customer service. But I think customer service is going to be one of the big um, stepping stones for Quant AI. But in fact, it can be used for anything from employees to team members to customer service to just any sort of help that you might need that you lack in the real world. So yeah, to answer that question, yes, it is coming up. We just need some sort of extension to connect that to your website, and that's probably coming next with our expansion to different types of social media. Hello?
Sorry, I was just writing back a response to the user who sent the question. Their screen name is Malvi.
Yeah, no problem.
So yeah, I just was typing back and I told them to probably take a jump into your Telegram and just chat with the team a little bit more on
Of
that.
course,
So
of course. And just a disclaimer: all the image generator bot is disabled on our group because it's not ideal when it comes to spam. So anyone who wants to use mistunes can either add it to your group or you can DM the bot. Just because we don't want all the spam on our own group, we want to keep it for information, for project details, and etc. Once we had it um available, people were going crazy, just interacting with the bot all day, and our chat was basically just filled with generations of music and images and stuff. And something also Pepe forgot to cover, we had our GIF generator online. We took it back out just because we want to improve on it a bit more. But our GIF generator is able to basically develop video, AI generation video, without the need for GPU, which is unheard of. And it's being able to do that in real time and in an acceptable amount of time. So once we have a instance of that on our Twitter where we used it, people can go see that for themselves. However, right now it's offline. It'll be back online soon enough, hopefully.
awesome. Yeah, so again for me, I know I mentioned we'd probably go around to 8:30, but really good discussion. I do apologize. It ran even over what I thought would be a pretty good detailed AMA. We covered a lot. Very, very good presentation, I have to say. The bot, like cleanliness, ease of use looks really clean. So like I'm gonna definitely have to check it out a little bit more detail, even throw some prompts and some searches of my own later on. But very well done. And in terms of kind of what's to come between the two of us, I know
like the YouTube and everything will be uploaded typically about 24 hours after the AMA. So we'll get some additional, eyes on that. It's a great tool. I mean, you guys could even utilize, your conversion tool to summarize the AMA and show people kind of like live what it
Yeah,
can
that's
do. So like,
exactly what I was about to tell you right now. To send me the recording so I can do slash summarize and show you what it's capable of.
yeah, because that live, just seeing Pepe walk through some of the examples he gave and prompts and how quickly and cleanly the information came through, it's really important and I think helps drive the point home for listeners. So, yeah, definitely worth jumping into the community, continuing to check it out, or if you own a group, you own something out there that you could integrate the tool into and further continue to test. I think that's they made it pretty easy to get that kind of the bot added in, especially via Telegram. So almost one two-step process depending on where you're coming in from. So yeah, very easy. I'll throw it to you if you wanted to touch on some future items, but I would love to get you guys on a couple of spaces with me next week. I took a couple of weeks off my spaces just, to be back home with my mom and whatnot, but I am going to be live again on our utility showcase this upcoming Thursday. It's 5 p.m. UTC when we do that. So if you guys could make that, that'd be awesome. It's about we're changing up the format so it's longer spaces per project. So it's about 15 to 20 minutes per project, 4 or 5 different influencers or keynotes in there, and there's some good cross exposure. So yeah, if you guys would be interested, it's next Thursday. Be happy to get you in there. Yeah, I'll throw it to you, Bondig, if you want to cover off some future announcements or maybe what's around the corner, things to get, calls to action and whatnot for the project. And just one final thank you for the extra time here and going over so much detail.
Of course, no. I mean, Pepe, when he first asked me, he's like, "Is this gonna be a 30-minute AMA?" I'm like, "No, it's uncapped." He's like, "Perfect. I can go into much detail as I want." For us, I mean, the longer the form of the AMA, we don't want to bore everyone. I know everyone has a lot of things to do and a lot of things they are doing, maybe simultaneously while listening to this AMA. But the more time you can give us, the more time we can explain what we do and how we do it and why what we do is extremely advantageous for anyone, because it's all free at the end of the day. A lot of the things we do are free. Everyone can use these things to improve their lives for free, and that's what we aim to do, to mature the space and mature everyone's entrepreneurial path. In terms of what we have forward, we have a lot. I mean, in terms of development, there's a ton. And all I could say right now is analytics. What we're going to do forward, anything that you see, analytical AI, analytical projects that you see on the space right now, it's all the tip of the iceberg. What we can achieve with analytics is insane, honestly, and we're already doing it ourselves. And what I'm saying is, in value, I mean in monetary value, the amount of monetary value that we have in terms of getting certain data in just crypto is unmatched and will be unmatched once these things go live. That's something coming in the future. And when I say it's something unparalleled, I really mean it, because you could see what you've already developed and how that's already unparalleled. And analytics is extremely important. We have a couple of projects I can name right now that are delving into analytics, but nothing that I've seen or Pepe have seen is something that's worthy of even look. Honestly, that's just my personal opinion. Everyone can have their own. In terms of marketing, this is our phase 2 of our project roadmap. So right now we're looking, I'm not going to put specific numbers out there, but we're looking to go into a double-digit market cap, surpass our all-time high set there, in order for us to start putting out further products. So you can expect a lot of marketing, a lot of partnerships with big projects and utilities, because big utilities can see smaller utilities and what they're doing, and a lot of these bigger projects that are very well known in the space have reached out to us. Some of them wanting our white label bot, some of them being our clients, some of them just loving our atmosphere and our ecosystem and wanting to partner up with us. And I'm talking about projects that are worth over 60, 70, 80 mil, even over 200-300 mil. So we have that in store. A lot of partnerships coming up next. We do have a virality scheme coming up as well, with the short form content on Twitter, TikTok and Instagram. And through that, it's going to be instances of using our platforms and getting those things going viral. And the agencies that we're working with have done it for a lot of Web2 projects, a lot of influencers. Some of them you may know. I'm not going to mention names, but a lot of them being crypto-centric as of now, and the meme communities, and a lot of other AI projects as well. So I think for short-form content is perfect for our attention-based economy, and they're going to see a lot of that. We have a team of 20 or 30 people doing that 24 hours a day. I think they'll start initiating on Monday. In terms of content, long-form content, we're gonna launch our YouTube channel within the week. You're gonna have a lot of how-to videos that summarizes everything we just said today in a couple of videos, and each video will be targeted towards certain products, so you don't have to watch everything. If you just want to use Miss Tunes, you can just use Miss Tunes. If you just want to use Miss Tunes tutorial, or if you just want to use a Sir Quant, you can watch a Sir Quant tutorial. We're also gonna have a couple of scenarios. So our team that are focusing on the content creation on YouTube is going to do specific scenarios. If you're like, let's say, a restaurant owner or a project owner or another AI token that wants help, or a meme community or whatever it may be, we're going to train agents in different scenarios and give you guys a nice overview of how you can use it and how it could be used in different scenarios. So that's going to help you guys understand how to use it itself. And there's a whole bunch of things that I'm preparing for. Some competitions, places where you guys can win some money. Also, we have onboarded major KOLs, so I haven't activated that yet because of the market and all the volume is going to memes right now. However, once that turns, like Maurice has been stating in the beginning of the AMA, I think we can all look at the past and see this inflection point, this AMA as an inflection point. As that being said, the main thing I want to say for the future is there's a lot of product left to give out, and there's a lot of marketing being given out within the next couple of weeks. So I'd love for you guys to join us for the ride. Of course, our chat is open for any questions. You can even ask our bot questions, so you don't need to wait for us to answer them. Our bot does I think it even does a better job than I do sometimes. But yeah, I would love for you guys to join the journey. And Maurice, of course, anytime you have any spaces, we're ready to join and ready to discuss different types of utilities that are out there that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, and like I know you mentioned you do the in-house AMA as well. You know,
100%
I think you
every
mentioned
Tuesday.
Tuesdays at 3 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern, 7
No,
UTC
it's
is when that
4
goes
p.m.
live.
EST, 4 p.m. EST, and 8 p.m. UTC every single
Okay, 8
Tuesday.
p.m.
Yep, 100%. We do a weekly review of what we've done, and we do a weekly review of what we're gonna do. So it's always
Yeah, well, like I'll pop in. I don't know if I can do this Tuesday because it's I'll be up at the hospital, and then it's also my girlfriend's birthday, so I probably, I don't want to get in trouble. But I'll say maybe the following Tuesday. What would that be? The 25th. I'll pop in, and I'll just, come hang out and just get a feel for the community. I used to do that a lot, maybe 6 months ago, and spent a lot of time in voice chats with projects from AMAs. I've been kind of a little bit preoccupied lately, but I'm going to be making a push to do a bit more of that as I kind of get back active the second half of summer. So yeah, so maybe the 25th, if that works, we can chat DMs because we're going to have you on the space next Thursday. So we'll be in touch a couple of times between now and then. But yeah, if you guys want, I'll pop in and just, announce I'm hanging out with you, and we'll kind of kick
Of
it with
course,
your
of course.
community this time
Anytime you'd
around.
like to pass by, that's always you're always welcome. I mean, the reason we do this is because we always see that there's a concept called power distance in business, and in different cultures there are bigger power distances between your boss and the employee. And what we're trying to do here is that we're trying to get a feel for the community and let the community get a feel for us. So it's not always a CEO speaking to his investors or a PEC or whatever you might want to think about it, where we just want people to see that we're a team and they're part of our journey and they're part of the whole community, and we're kind of like a family. And any questions, any suggestions, any feedback is always welcome. And you can go ahead and ask some people on our community. When people suggest things, we implement them immediately, because if it is viable, I mean, and if it's opportunistic, of course. So we just want to have that close relationship with our investors and our members and our users, and that's why we always want to have like a weekly retrospective where we speak about what's being done and what will be done in the future.
That's smart. You got to keep that
line of communication open with people supporting you. So yeah, we'll
100%.
kind of say soft date for the 25th, and I'll pop in for your VC 2 weeks from now.
No issues, no pressure, Brisky.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that sounds good. I personally like to hang out with communities and see what the vibe's like and kind of how they interact. So that's a big thing for me. So yeah, we'll do that, and then action items from my end, guys. If you haven't, obviously jump into the community. You know, check out the tech. It's very easy, as we mentioned, to add in and utilize some of the prompts. So get a feel for that. If you haven't done your research, they have a very detailed website, which Pepe was kind enough to walk through, and they also have their web white paper available on the website, tongue twister. So you guys can go through that in detail. They have a pitch deck available, lots of information in terms of what's to come. YouTube will be published within 24 hours, as I mentioned. So I'll flip it over to you, though, the rough copy tonight, so you can have that summarized. YouTube goes up tomorrow. I'll send you the link once it's live. Space will be, what day is that? The 20th of June, 5 p.m. UTC. The announcement typically goes out on the Tuesday or the Wednesday prior to. So once that goes live, I'll send it over, and you guys can just kind of quote tweet that you'd be attending, and we'll help build some extra eyes up for that. And then yeah, just like again, we do some odd spaces. You guys seem very knowledgeable. I know Caesar and I are going to be doing some spaces as well in unison moving forward, more like shill or like, project discussions, education based. So if you guys ever wanted to pop into those, like just shoot me a DM and shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, just wanted to kind of clear up everything to come from our end and some of the things that we'll be speaking on together in the near future.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us. I mean, you guys have been a pleasure.
And I
It's a pleasure.
appreciate your flexibility too, Bondic. I know this week was really tough for me. I was back and forth a lot on the road for big stretches, and then one night I just crashed so hard. So I just wanted to say thank you for being flexible. I have not been, as active as I used to be for anybody who's followed the channel for like the last 2.5 years. Last 3 months I've kind of had to take a bit of a step back, but I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. You don't always get that flexibility with people in the space. So I just, thank you. And, anything I can do to try and help out on the back end, definitely don't hesitate to ask. Okay.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's understandable. I wish your mom all speedy recovery and all the luck, honestly. And it's kind of hit home because I had the same issues at some point in my life. So I always appreciate honesty and transparency, and you've been nothing but authentic. It was a pleasure being here, and thank you so much for having us. I mean, it's rare to get someone that's done their research this well as well. So, anyways, thanks a lot for having us, and I hope you guys have a good night. Also.